Okay, now this is the measurements we are going to be using. We are going to be following the chart. The Roman figure 1 you are seeing there in the chart is what we'll be taking. So I'll be explaining the measurements one by one. If you look up, you see bust. Under the bust of Roman figure 1, you see 80 cm. Now I converted each of them. From that 80 cm is going to give me 31.5 inches. And how did I get that? Let me show you a very good example of that. Now if you have 80 cm, you look for 80 cm at the back here. This is 80 cm. So when you have gotten this 80 cm, so you turn the tape roll around. After turning the tape roll around, you see what I have here is 31.5. So that's how to convert. Now the waist is 64 cm. When I converted it to inches, 25.2. The waist length is 38.40 according to the chart. Now we are going to have 38. For 38 is 15. We have for 40 is 15.7. So X back 33, 34. I've converted it. Chest 35. The shoulder 12, 4.7. 0.2 is 2. Approximated it to 1 inch. The back neck with 6.5, I have 2.6 inches. Depth of armhole, you have 20.5, you have 8. The back up is 5, 2. The dart is 6, 3, 2.3. So those are the measurements we'll be needing to draft our bodies.
So let's start. Now that we have our measurements, we are going to go straight up to our drafts. So I'll be explaining each of them one by one. This is my pattern master. I've drawn my borderline. I used 3 cm, 3.5 cm by 3.5 cm. There's no hard and fast way about drawing your borderline, so you can use any amount you want. The most important is just have the space where you can work within which in the brown paper, just in case you need to do some extra at the back of the borderline, so that you don't have to start joining, attaching brown paper to it. So let's start first. Our measurement is going to start from the top point here. So we are going to draw a line. I'm labeling this place O. Now from this O, we are going to come down to A. The O to A is going to be our point O in the chart. And what is our point O? Our point O in the chart is 2 cm, which is 1 inch. So we are going to be looking for 1 inch. So this is after we've gotten that, this is A, we are going to get in our shoulder slope. Our shoulder slope, if you have a person's back, a small person ranges from a back of 13 to 15 inches. The person's shoulder weight is 13 to 15 inches. You'll be using 1 inch. But if the person is more 15 to 17, you'll be using 1.5. The person is between 18 and 19, maybe using 2 inches. Then from 20 to 22, you'll be using 2.5 inches. So actually, a woman's back width on a normal day is usually ranging from between 15 inches to from 13 inches rather, to about 18 inches or 19. So that's what you work with. So now for this measurement, this person is a small person, so we're going to be using 1 inch for the shoulder slope. I'm labeling this point B. So I'm going to be squaring the line. So this is my shoulder slope. I've gotten that. Then the next thing we're going to be getting is our armhole depth. How do we get our armhole depth? The depth of armhole is 20.5 cm. So it's 8 inches. So from point A, That is where you're looking for the 8 inches, and this is it here. You come here, look for your 8 inches, and this is it. Yes. So I'm going to be, from the 8 inches. So I'm going to be squaring this line. Now this particular line, I'll square it up to the back. Now that I have done that, the next thing I need to do is to look for my waist point, and the waist point from that is 15.7. We have 38, 40. So this 38 is for the back, this 40 is for usually for the front, but I usually like sticking to the smaller number at the back. So yeah, I'll be having 15 inches, so I'll pick 15 inches. Now if you are doing this for somebody, it will be good for you to have the person's measurements of these things, so that you don't need this for if you want to do ready to wear and you are following a chart size. The 15 is going to be from point A. The 15 inches is going to be from point A. So as I was saying earlier, if you want accurate measurements for your clients, please endeavor to have each of these measurements as I've discussed. So the only thing you just need to at least you have the person's bust, have the person's waist, have the person's back waist length, front waist length, then you have the person's across back, have the person's chest width. If you don't know the person's chest width, you can follow the charts. You can follow the chart for this one too. Then you need to have the person's shoulder, refer to the measurements video. Then this point O, refer to the charts. The back neck width, you can refer to the charts. The depth of the ankle, you can refer to the charts. The back up, you can also you need to refer to the chart. Then that refer to the chart. So all the other ones I mentioned, like the bust, the waist, this, the X across back, shoulder, all these measurements, if you want accurate fit of your clients, measure. But if you know you are just sewing it for to as ready to wear, you don't actually need to, because this is a guide for you to follow. So whoever it fits, you sell it to the person. Now we are going to be getting the back neck width. The back neck width is 2.6 from the chart, 2.6 inches. So I'll come here and I'll measure 2.6 inches here. And here, so this 2.6 inches is going to be my point E. So what do I do at this point here? I'm going to be coming up here by 0.5 inch. This is 0.5 inch. Then I'll draw a curve to that point. You can use your French curve. Sorry, I'm so used to drawing my curves of my round neck with my pattern. So this is it, same thing. So that's it. So after getting that, the next thing for you to get, please, you need to get another line here, which I'm going to label F. That is A to C divided by 2. That's 4 inches. I'm going to square the line. Now that we've gotten it, now we'll be getting our shoulder measurement on the shoulder sleeve. this 12 cm, approximately 4.7 inches. So I'll be looking for where 4.7 inches matches with that point of my curve. 4.7 inches, where it matches, this is it here. So I'll come here and connect here to straight line. I hope that's clear. So now that you okay, now we get our cross back measurements. The across back measurement is 33 cm, so that is 33 cm. So now 13 inches. So how do I go about it? This 13 inches, I'll be dividing it by 2, that's 6.5. So I'm going to measuring 6.5. Yeah. After measuring my 6.5, I'll go up. I'll square the line up. So after getting that line, the next thing for me to do now is to get my back up. My back up from my chart is 5, as you can see here. That's 2 inches. So I'll come here and measure 2 inches. After measuring my 2 inches, all I just have to do now is to draw my curve. Now this is how to draw my curve. I'll make sure that this point, and this point meets. So these 3 points has to meet. So I'll be using a green marker for that, so that we can see that curve very well. So these points, this point has to meet. So there we have it. So after doing that, I'll come to my waistline. So these 3 points must meet. I'll go to my waistline now. So if you are seeing the waistline from here, I do hope you are seeing it. So I'll take the measurements of this part here, what I have from C to C1. .5. I'll come here. .5. Then use notes. Use it. 8.5. 8.5. Then I'll do the straight line. So that's my bodice block at the back. This is my center back. So now I'll be moving to my center front. So this line is actually same thing as the other part there, where this is my waist and this is my armhole depth. So it's, you just need to just continue the line, just increase the length. Now that I've gotten that, now I'm starting with the front measurements. Here's my measurements. I'll be working on this side now. So we're starting from the front now. Now you see this point where our borderline starts from. This is where we are going to be starting. So this will be our points, our starting points now for the front. So for this part here, we are going to be starting from, this is our point A. So we'll be getting our back, our neck width. Now you know the neck width for the front is 2.6. Then the neck width for the back rather is 2.6. Now instead of 2.6, we'll be getting 2.6. 2.5. So this is 2.5. Then we are going to be getting the depth of the neck. Now we are going to be adding 0.5 to that number, that's 3. So this 2.5 and this is 3 inches. So this 3 inches. So after we have gotten it, the next thing for us to do is to draw a curve. So we are going to draw in a curve like this. So that's for our neck width. Having gotten that point, the next thing for us to do now is to get our shoulder line. Remember I said the shoulder line is 1 inch. So yeah, 1 inch. So you're extending this line or requiring this line. So this 1 inch line. So this is 1 inch. After getting the 1 inch, I'll be getting my chest width. My chest width is 1.5 inches up of the armhole line. So that's where you get my chest width. So this is my chest width. So this is my chest width line. So this is my chest width line. Thank you. So chest width line, armhole depth, then this particular line that we have here, this line is our waistline. This waistline. Now that we have gotten that, the next thing for us to do is to get our shoulder slope. So on this part, for all sizes, use 6.5 inches. You mark here, then you draw a line, extend and beyond. Extend to that point from your neck and beyond, wherever it stops. Let the line just continue. After you have done that, you will now get half of your chest width. So our chest width is 35 cm, that's 13.5 inches. So I'll be dividing 13.5 inches by 2, that's 6.75. Yeah. Then I'll also divide this 6.7 by 2. When I divide 6.7 by 2, this is what I'll be getting here. After getting that line, I'm going to square up the line. I'm going to use a dotted line. Please note, it's a dotted line. This is a dotted line. If I'm using a pencil, you can use a pencil and use a dotted line. Then I'll come down by 2 cm. I'll come down by 2 cm. Come down by 2 cm. Note, I said that. So here is 2 cm. Now that I have done that, the next thing for me to do now is to come here and look for 3/4 of an inch. That's 0.7 on this part here. So this is 0.7 on the shoulder line. Please, on the shoulder line, that's why you look for the 0.7. Then when you have gotten it, then you would now extend this point here. From this your 2 cm mark, you will draw a line to that point, extend up and beyond. After you have done that, then you would now get the dart on the shoulder slope. Please note, on the shoulder slope, that's when you'll be getting the dart. So the dart measurement here is 6 cm. That's 2.3. So if you don't want, you can go straight and use 6 cm. You notice here I'm using both cm and inches. So this is where 6 cm is. If your measurement matches with that your first measurement, that your 6.5 inches that you got, that you did earlier, for to get your shoulder slope, there is no problem, you are still right, don't worry. So now this part here, this space here is my darts. now that we have gotten that, the next thing for us to do is to get our our chest line. So this particular, the next thing we're going to do now is to get our bust measurement. Now remember, our bust here is 31.5 inches. 31.5 inches. So what are we going to do? From the front measurement, remember when we are doing the front, if you notice the bust measurement here, we had 8.5 inches. So I'll be writing that 8.5 inches down somewhere. 8.5. Thank you. Now what you're going to be doing now is that to get the back bust, what you need to do, you will be taking away 31, you divide 31.5 by 2. When you divide 31.5 by 2, you'll be getting 15.7. So 15.7 minus 8.5 is going to give us 2, then 7. So 7.2. So our front bust rather is going to be 7.2 inches. So this is where our 7.2 puts us. This is where we have it. I hope it's clear. So I got my 7.2 from this point here. So this is the 7.2 here. So remember, this is how I got it. I'll repeat again. Divide 31.5 by 2. When you divide 31.5 by 2, you have 15.7. So 15.7, take away your back bust measurement. That's 8.5. Then when you have taken 8.5 away from 15.7, you have 7.2. So you place that measurement at this part. So after you have gotten that, the next thing for us to do is to get our complete shoulder measurement. How do we get our complete shoulder measurement? Remember, our shoulder width in our measurement chart is 12. So that's 4.7, 12 cm or 4.7. So what do I do? How do I get an accurate measurement? Now what I'll be doing is, from this point here, from this point to this point here, I have 1.6. So you see, we have measured up to the point of where the dart starts from. Then that is 1.6. I would now come here, place the 1.6 at where the dart ends, and continue till I get my 4.7. I take that again. From this point to this point is 1.6. So I place my 1.6 where the dart ends and finish up with my measurements. So that's how to get my 4.7. Now that we have gotten it, the next thing for us to do is to curve our armhole. So you place your curve, making sure that it's touching, this point here. It's touching this point, and this point. Then you draw your armhole. So that's my armhole. If you don't have a tape, you can just come here and draw a curve here. Then get half of the measurement, go in by 0.5 inch, then connect a curve to this point, then you do that. Well, actually you have to have a curve when you are doing pattern and drafting, so I don't need to mention that. So after you have done that, the next thing for you to do is to square down this line, as in this measurement you have here, place it down here, and when you do that, that is your bodice, front bodice. So please, after doing this, I want to explain how to shape your darts. So So as in, because your dart cannot be cut like this. Our dart is not is not supposed to have that shape. So I'll fold my bust measurements into two. Why am I folding it? So that I'll be able to fold my dart over like this. So that is it. So you are closing the dart. This is what it means when you hear close the dart. Close the dart means to place the dart over each other and close it, so that we don't even know that if yours form a cup, it means you are very, 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 very on track. So now that you have closed the dart, the next thing for you to do is to draw another line from here to this point. So after drawing it, if you are using a very, very thick pencil, that line will show. So after closing the dart, if you have a curve here, you close the dart like this. After closing the dart, I'm using this tracing wheel so that I can see the line, because assuming I was using a pencil, the mark of the pencil will be showing at the back, so I'll be able to know. But now that I'm not using a pencil and I'm using a marker, so that's why I need this, so that I can know where it goes. So I'm going to be straightening this line. So after doing that, so that I will have a shape of my dart. So this is the shape of my dart here. I'll just trace it out using my tracing wheel. So when I'm cutting my paper, I'll be cutting it this way. You see where I marked here, like the top of this place, go up, come down, this point, then that point. Now that you have done that, you cut that part out. For the front, this is that's for the front rather. Now for the back, you cut here out. So that's how to cut this on the line. So you can back this out when you are cutting it. That is how that less bodice actually is. This is the shoulder that to bring out the cup for the pins.